Are you thinking about moving to Harvard, Massachusetts? No, not that Harvard. Harvard, Mass. It's a beautiful, quaint small town of about 6,600 people. And are you looking for a local expert that can help you learn all about Harvard and whether it might be the right community for your family? I'm based here in Wellesley, Massachusetts, which is just about a 40-minute ride away. And I'm excited to share some really interesting, fun facts about Harvard, Mass today. And in this video, we're going to talk about real estate. We're going to talk about some of the rich cultural opportunities that you can see in Harvard. And of course, we're going to talk about schools and so much more. So I'm excited to dive in. I'm Jane. I'm a realtor in Wellesley, Mass. Each week here on this channel, I release a different video about different communities, fun things to do, or things that you need to know before you relocate to Greater Boston. If you are thinking about moving to Greater Boston, please reach out and give me a call. Just this week, I was able to secure not one, but 2 homes for buyers that discovered me right here on this channel in a very competitive market. So I'm really excited and would love to be the person to help you and your family find just the right home. So first, let's talk about where Harvard is. It is west of Boston, northwest, off of Route 495. So it is a beautiful area with large lots for the homes and a very charming historic town center. And it's probably not a place that you're going to hop on a commuter rail and commute to downtown Boston. It's actually pretty difficult to do that as there's no commuter rail stop in Harvard. Because it is near 495, it does attract a lot of highly educated homeowners who are looking for a beautiful place to live that's convenient to the tech areas outside of Boston. So you're going to find all of that up and down 495. Some of the towns that are surrounding Harvard are Boxborough and Lancaster, Bolton and Ayr. So some really beautiful New England towns, which are not quite as hop and busy as some of the other communities that are more of an urban suburb that I've shared with you on this channel. One of the things that this town does have in common with the Wellesley, Weston, Wayland type of towns is the outstanding school system. The public school is actually called the Bromfield School, which sounds private, but it's not. And niche.com consistently gives it an A+ rating. Harvard does attract buyers who are looking for a rural community with really strong public schools. When you're looking for something to do at Harvard, the place I'm going to start first is the Fruitlands Museum. There is a terrific place, which actually is also a great place to host events. So I know people who have had weddings and parties there. So there's several historic buildings and exhibit that focus on Native American history and art. And the Fruitlands Museum was actually founded by Bronson Alcott, is the father of Louisa May Alcott, who is a very famous author and the author of Little Women. Another fun thing to know is that you can actually visit the Orchard House, which is the home that the Alcotts raised their family in nearby Concord. But we'll cover that some other day. One of the things that's really fun about the town center is there's a super cute Harvard General Store, and it's been operating since 1826. So it's a quintessential general store with a little bit of everything, locally baked goods, place to just get a great cup of coffee and soak up some small town charm. And I'm actually going to put some links below so you can hop onto some of these sites to get some specific information about these sites and some others. And one other thing I have to mention, there was one of the first Shaker villages in the US was right here in Harvard. And you can learn all about the Shaker community that once thrived here by visiting some of these amazing buildings that are well preserved and see artifacts from this very unique religious group. I'm going to share some statistics from December of 2023. So the median listing price in December 2023 was $1.2 million, and the median sold price was $950. So while these numbers might still sound a little bit high, you might be surprised to see just what you get if you're going to spend around $1 million in Harvard. Interestingly, there are a lot of antiques. There's homes as old as 1730 that are available for sale. And it's a little bit of a niche buyer that wants a home that old because a lot of times the ceilings can be quite low, or you might not have the typical contemporary floor plan that you're looking for. So it is a special buyer that will buy a home that old. However, a lot of them have been beautifully updated and gutted with, of course, all new, but they didn't even have electric back then, updated wiring. And I'm going to share with you just a couple interesting homes that sold recently. The first house I'm going to show you is actually not an antique. This house at 81 Old Shirley Rd, which was is a custom built by a builder, and 4 beds, 2.5 baths, and 9 acres of land. So this is a far cry from Wellesley or Weston, where you might get 1/4 of an acre for $1.5 million. So anyway, as you can see, it's a really elegant, classic colonial home with a nice level front yard, plenty of room to park, and lots of woods and privacy on your 9 acres. This was probably the original kitchen from '94, but again, if you wanted to give this a quick facelift, it would be pretty easy to bring it into the 2020s. But nice tall ceilings, recessed lights, all these things that most buyers that are looking for, kind of that open floor plan for the kitchen family room being open with the dine-in area and the island with stools, and nice wood stove here in the corner, and nice hardwood floors. Generally, the gold standard of flooring in New England is basically hardwood floors. So we are seeing some things like vinyl plank, like faux wood coming in, but still for like the main level of your living area for $1 million, I'm expecting hardwood floors. Now, what this house doesn't have a lot of is colonial detail. Like you'll notice there's no crown moldings. It's kind of a contemporary feel, which is quite trendy right now with like more minimalist trim around the doors, for example. That's actually come back in style in the 2020s. So I'm going to scoot forward. I hope I'm not making you dizzy, but I want to get a good shot of the living room. So again, nice tall ceilings, nice view of trees behind. You can see that there's an open foyer on the second floor to give you a nice spacious feel. Good sized bathroom. Again, time for a facelift. This is definitely original. And this is a nice shot. I actually probably would have led with this picture. The entryway, which shows you I'm in a typical colonial. I'm going to go to the right to the living room, back to the kitchen family room, and left to the dining room. Good sized bedrooms. So the next house I'm going to share with you is 87 Old Littleton Rd. And this is actively on the market in February of 2024 for $1.3 million. And this is a true antique. It was built in 1750. It has an outbuilding. It has 12 acres of land. It has 4,300 square feet of living space. But wow, is this cool. So I just love getting this glimpse of American history at its finest. Now, one thing that I did notice about this house is that it looks like it has pretty tall ceilings throughout, which, as I mentioned, sometimes in the 1700s, they made the ceilings quite low. And the reason was, they wanted to make sure they weren't wasting heat when they were doing everything via a wood-burning stove. So here it is in the back. Here's some nice dormers. So typical of homes this age, they got added on to as needed. So you'll see an L here and a wing there. Here's a detached 3-car garage. For all we know, they were built that in for their first Ford in the 20s, and a beautiful old barn. So here we are back in the main house. So one of the things I really wanted to focus on in this house were these beautiful beams. So here you can see the original exposed beams in the ceiling, and it's a nod to how homes were built back then. Like you can really see how they made wooden pegs and fit the wood together. It's very cool. So I love when they leave a little bit of that exposed, even though it's nice and open, just like most buyers would want for today. And you can actually see here like an old support that was put in probably much later to keep the integrity of that original wood. Now here back in the kitchen, this has been nicely updated. Gorgeous wooden cabinets, probably like a maple or a cherry, and nice stainless appliances. So you have the total best combination of old and new. Get a vaulted ceiling in this room and nicely updated with painted with white trim, which is such a different feeling from the other. And again, this beautiful bathroom has a clawfoot tub on a platform, but a separate, totally contemporary walk-in shower. Now again, I'm guessing these are original wood floors. They're much wider than you see typically today. Really pretty. Now back then, every bedroom would have had a fireplace, and it's pretty typical to see that they're not all in operation. You can just put some really pretty candles in there or just a decorative log, and then it can maintain its integrity as a focal point. It's a lot of times you'll see that the fireplaces in the master bedroom or primary bedroom are still in operation, but it's not unusual to see one that's not actively used. Oh, this is super cute. A nice little place to do your sewing. And here we have a little pond, because this is close to a pond, and this little outbuilding is just delightful. This is funny. This reminds me of a cottage that my husband built in one of our Vermont properties. Just like this, we put in a little ladder for the kids to make a platform and sleep up there. So things haven't really changed in 400 years. And then this is a nice view, so you get a sense of where it is on the lot. So this house is still available. So if you'd like to see it, give me a buzz. We can geek out over antiques together. The last house I'm going to share with you is quite a beauty. It's on a 7-acre parcel and it's sold for $1.9 million in early 2024. Believe it or not, it only has 3 bedrooms and 3.5 baths, and it's 5,700 square feet. So it was built in 2011. So I just thought it was important to show you something that sold on the higher end and just give you a sense of you get a lot for your money. And I'm guessing there's probably a place we could turn into a 4th bedroom, but absolutely stunning, brick front, long range views of mountain tops, so pretty, and a very grand foyer. This is a custom build from 2011. So right when you walk in the door, of course, this is a very different feel from the other homes I've shown you today, but I love the light stone and the neutral walls. And again, you see this, I love that this 2nd level landing is open to this beautiful room. I love the transom windows over the French doors, so you bring in a lot of light that way. And here's a really pretty room with access to the wraparound deck. And again, these beautiful light all around transoms on top of the doors. That is just gorgeous and expensive to build, I can tell you from experience. So the kitchen has a really nice contemporary vibe, very clean, lots of recessed lights, and very contemporary cabinetry, which is totally back in style for 2024. Really pretty. I love this horizontal finish on the wood. Little dine-in kitchen action. And now here we're talking. Now this is a beautiful tiled bath, very elegant and funky and traditional and contemporary. But nice bedrooms too, a ton of space. This is 5,700 square feet. So my guess is the reason they're calling this a 3-bedroom house is about the septic. So this is 3 floors of living space. So there's a lot on the lower level, which is fine. Original Dover videos or Weston videos, I talk all about septic systems. If you're not familiar with them, shoot me a message and I'm happy to send you a link. But basically they do it by the number of bedrooms. So if it was a 3-bedroom septic, they can call it, can be a 10,000 square foot house. They're still going to claim it's only 3 bedrooms. So anyway, this house is quite elegant with a lot of really high-end finishes. And for example, in this bedroom, you can see that there's this very funky fireplace on the wall. Just love it. Super cool finishes, a very expensive luxury build with lots of all this glass and all these extra windows really make your construction cost higher. And when you're out on this pretty deck, you have this lovely view of the sloping yard. And here we are back in the family room. And this is a 2nd kitchen. This is the lower level walkout kitchen, just in case you were getting confused. And of course, there's a pool table. So I love this deck. I love the spaciousness and the long range views. And of course, what a beautiful grill. So there's 3 interesting properties, that 1 that's active and 2 that recently sold in Harvard. So I hope you enjoyed that little snippet of what Harvard, Mass has to offer. And make sure you check out those links in the comments to take you to some of those historic sites. So if you are moving here and would like to get a conversation started, just send me an email or give me a buzz and I can talk to you about what it is like to work with me and how I'm going to help you find just the right home for you and your family. So basically the steps are, we'll have an introductory call where I get a sense of your timing and what you're looking for, and make sure you're connected with a lender. In this super tight environment with very little inventory or very few homes to buy, it's important to put your best foot forward with your very first offer, because typically you're going to come up with competition for any house that we're going to go after. So one of the ways I make you look super attractive to sellers is by having you pre-approved and make you feel comfortable about exactly where you are financially. Then we get to the fun part where you share homes you like with me and I'll start looking for just the right homes to show you. And once you schedule a trip to visit, I'm all yours and I'll take you to see any homes you want and help introduce you to the different communities that feel like the right fit. And then we'll make it a competitive offer and find just the right house. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and any questions or thoughts, leave it in the comments. And thank you so much for watching.